Hey y'all. Alright, so today this video is a little bit more about getting to know me, kind of. Um, so on my channel, I do talk about mysticism, esotericism, philosophy, psychology, sociology, uh, y- just things that involve the mind, the self, the narrative of ourself we have, the pretty much everything that ends up creating our experience, right? So we have this experience of the outside world, but it's interpreted by our internal world, right? And in order to really get a full grasp on all of this, you kind of have to understand a lot of different topics, right? But the thing is that on this channel, I'm kind of going to be posting everything that I do. So I wanted to sort of mention the things that I do so that if you've already watched, like I only have like two videos and a couple of shorts, but if you watched it and you're interested in knowing what I do and who I am, here it is, right? And then you can isolate like, oh, I'm actually interested in this thing, and I can probably make a video about it. Pretty much, I'm making this video so that y'all can leave comments so that I could then content farm, right? Like saying the quiet part out loud, right? But honestly, like, okay, so here's the thing, guys. Like I said, what I make my videos about, right? And that's kind of my whole shtick. I'm trying to understand existence, right? And I think I do, but you never actually know jack shit, right? So whatever, right? But what I have come to realize is that in an attempt to destroy the ego, I realized the ego couldn't be destroyed. So I just became unattached to it, peeled back the onion until there was no more layers, and realized that the entire persona is just, um, you know, social programming. And when you undo it all, you don't actually get left completely empty because you still need desire and beliefs to function. Like if I'm completely blank, I wouldn't even be able to speak to someone because how would I know what to say? There's no reference point. There's no beliefs that make me say this instead of that, right? So there's no way of getting rid of it all. And through meditation, you can achieve this point where you lose awareness of self and forget you exist and it's all blank until you wake up again, right? But in real life, like when you're not in a meditation or vision or whatever you want to call it, you can't actually exist that way. You need to have some sort of structure um, in order to base your decisions off of. What am I going to say? What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? You can't do any of that if there is no self, right? But I've deconstructed the self. So now what do I do? So I think what I realized is a lot of people do things to try to discover themselves. But for me, it was more about recreating myself. Like, why would I discover a self that never existed? If I discover myself, all I'm really doing is either removing things or adding things based off of what I'm experiencing from the outside world. And instead of doing that, because if I do that, I'm inherently doing it unknowingly. Instead, I can just do it knowingly. I can recreate myself based off of what I believe is most conducive to um, getting the most benefit for myself and others, right? So pretty much all of my beliefs and the way I speak and everything, like the things that I do, it's all based off of optimizing for benefit, right? So then that leads to who am I now, and I pretty much am the I am pretty much I can't tell you what I am, but I can tell you what I do, right? I can tell you what I believe, and I can tell you how I behave, right? So let's go through some of the things that I do. So as you can see, I got a little bit of muscle on me. Um, I'm a power lifter and a mixed martial artist. So I specifically do powerlifting just to gain strength. I'm reasonably strong. Like if you've seen my shorts, I my one rep max at the bench press is 335. My one rep max at the deadlift is 495. I believe um my squat is 405, but it's gone down. I think I can only get like 365 right now because I hardly ever squat because I have a shoulder problem. Like I'm not able to get my hands over here. As you can see, I can't get it back there, so I can't hold the bar when I go to a power rack. So if I want to do squats, the only way I can do it is on a Smith machine because that allows me to hold the bar out here like this, right? But on a Smith machine, you're not. It's not a real squat, right? Like you could do it. I'm not trying to crap on you if you do squats on a Smith machine, but it is taking all of the stabilizer muscles out of it. So it's not a complete squat. Like the machine is holding the bar straight for you. You know. But at least the weight is still on your back, so it's better than nothing, right? But personally, when I want to hit squat, what I do is I just do leg press and hack squats, and it comes out being relatively the same. You know, I'm probably gonna post a what's it called? I'm probably gonna post a short because today I was doing what was it leg press, and I was able to hit 852 pounds. And on the leg press, that isn't the craziest. I've seen people do way more, but I'm proud of it. I think that it's pretty cool. And I was able to do that for 5 sets of 5. So it's not even like that's my maximum. Like I probably could have went above 1,000 pounds, but it wasn't safe because the leg press that I'm working on just doesn't have enough space for weights. So I had to stack some on top, and after a point, I'm like, yeah, I'm not having a freaking Jenga tower of 45-pound plates come crashing down on me, right? So like once I got to like 3, I was like, that's it. I can't put more up there, right? Yeah, but still, I think it was cool. And then the hack squat, I think I'm only doing like 215, like 215 pounds, which sounds significantly less, like from 850 to but on a hack squat, it actually like it's a lot more difficult because the hack squat is like mostly quads, right? And so a lot of the other like strong muscles are out of the equation technically. So like it's just is different, right? And on top of that, this is the amount of weight that I can go all the way down. So like I don't know how to explain it, but like let's say this is like if this is my foot here and this is my knee, like I'm going all the way down to here. So my butt is down here, right? And then you're going all the way back up. If you're not doing that on a hack squat, then you're doing it incorrectly. The point of the hack squat is to go all the way down. If you can't go all the way down because of the amount of weight that's on there, then take off weight, right? Like the point of this is not to show off and just stack plates up there, is to do it correctly, and eventually you get up to 2 plates, 3 plates, right? But but so yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. I try to like I'm a power lifter, so pretty much I'm working out the specific movement. I'm not in there doing every single thing. As you can see, my arms are not that huge. I almost I got a good amount of muscle, but my arms aren't that big because I probably I don't think I remember the last time I did bicep curls or like tricep extensions, right? Like all of my tricep work comes from my bench, and all of my bicep work comes from seated rows, and lat pull downs, and bent over rows, and stuff like that, right? So yeah, but that's like my powerlifting journey, and I'm doing that specifically just to get heavier and stronger because my real thing is the mixed martial arts. When I was really young, I got into the whole kung fu thing, and I started doing like tai chi and bagua and blah 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 blah. But I started realizing like I don't understand how to use this in a real fight, right? So I started looking for something that was a little more impactful, right? Like where like I can tell that I'm doing things correctly here. And I moved over to Muay Thai. Well, first I went to Wing Chun, and Wing Chun was good, but I think a lot of people when they do Wing Chun, they kind of get caught up in the what's it called, the form, like the stances, like it, like they're not trying to just fight. They need to make sure that you realize that this is Wing Chun, because I guess maybe it might be a pride thing where it's like if I don't do it like this, they won't know that I'm using Wing Chun, and then Wing Chun won't get the credit, and I just don't care, right? I'm just looking for what's gonna work, right? So I like the Wing Chun and I still use it, but it's mixed with Muay Thai, and my striking is mostly Muay Thai. Um, but the Wing Chun does add a nice amount of things, because like sometimes like I do one of these and I'm able to like move into other things, and because I do grappling, like Wing Chun has a way of setting you up for really good arm fighting and doing a little wizard, a little arm drag here and there, blah blah blah. And when you start mixing the Wing Chun with grappling, it actually starts working really good on the floor, because when either if you're on your back or like on top of the person, like these Wing Chun movements work so good in close quarters, and when you're grappling, you're in close quarters, so like it works perfect, right? So when you mix Wing Chun with the clinch from Muay Thai, and then you're also doing BJJ, like you're like it's like a match made in heaven, right? So yeah, so I did all of that stuff. And I started that was like my my mid-teens to like 20 and 20. I started doing Muay Thai, and then I did that for like forever. I didn't start doing grappling until much later on. Like my only understanding of grappling was clinch, right? And I had no clue how to fight on the floor or anything. Like I assumed that I would just like spontaneously freaking generate the movements when I'm down there. I wasn't thinking too much about it. Like most fights are like striking, so I was like, I don't know. Like I just never thought of it. But in my later 20s, I started listening to a lot of Joe Rogan, and then I started learning about BJJ, and I started getting really interested, and I wanted to know what it was. So I took a couple of classes, and I was in there, and like but when I was 28, that's when I really started doing the BJJ. And I'm not gonna tell you that I'm doing BJJ. I prefer to say I play around with BJJ and judo, because I haven't been able to truly do it, right? Because the thing is that I took some classes in an actual BJJ school, but it's expensive as shit, and the hours are very specific, and if you don't show up, pretty much like you still got to pay, right? And I started realizing that if I learn from guys that do mixed martial arts, they're not professional BJJ guys. They don't have high belts or anything. Some of them don't even have belts, but they know enough BJJ to get you out of a sticky situation when the fight goes to the floor. And that's pretty much what I needed. If it was a perfect world, I would love to go to a BJJ school, get a like purple belt, and then just stop, right? Because like once you get a purple belt, you're better than like 95% of the population, of the population of BJJ guys, right? Like pretty much only other purple belts and above will be like at your level or better, right? So yeah, so I think that I only need a purple belt, but yo, this is like 5 to 7 years to get that belt, right? And honestly, I think that I would prefer to go to judo, because judo you might be able to get a black belt in 7 years, like somewhere between 5 and 7 years, right? And personally, I think judo is a lot more um what's the word I'm looking for, like effective in a self-defense situation, because I okay, so I'm really good at BJJ, but the fight isn't going to the floor. Like, am I going to start butt scooching in a street fight and like get kicked to the side of the head or something? Like, how does that work, right? Like ultimately, if I want to use the BJJ, I'm gonna have to take him to the floor, and if I'm taking him to the floor, why not just use judo, take him to the floor really hard, and end the fight quickly, right? Because judo, like you could there's trips and sweeps and this and that, but there's also like very very hard throws and slams. Like if someone hits you with the earth like ridiculously hard, sometimes it's going to take you a few minutes to like regain composure. And if like something happens and I smash someone with the earth, and it's going to take him 5 minutes to get up, that's enough for me to literally like mosey away. Like I can just stroll away. I don't even have to run or anything. I could just walk at a normal speed, and by the time he's up, I'm like a couple of blocks away, whatever, right? I'm not in it to compete with the guy trying to beat me up. Like the point in self-defense, once they're incapacitated, I leave, right? But yeah. So that's kind of my idea. Oh yeah, and like 2 years ago, I started getting really into traditional Filipino martial arts, like Kali, like the sticks fighting, and there's a few other things, but I forgot, like Spada Idaga, which is actually super cool. Well, it was cool to me when I was learning this stuff because Spada Idaga just means sword and dagger. But I noticed immediately that Idaga is also the Spanish words for sword and dagger, right? So I was like, wait, hold on a second. And that led me to this whole historical like thing because I was like, oh crap, so Spain went to Philippines, blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh, that's super interesting. But yeah. Pointless, just me rambling here. But ultimately, I thought, okay, if I'm gonna do the combat thing, then I should probably learn how to, use blunt objects and sharp objects, etc., etc. And when I was younger, like early 20s, I used to do a lot of things when it came to like bow and arrows and stuff like that. So I'm pretty good at like projectile type things. Haven't tried firearms because for the most of my life, I've lived in a place where you're not allowed to have them. So but doesn't mean that I'm not good at it. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Oh, oh, fudge. Been sitting down for so long. Okay, so there's all of that stuff. So that's the meme being a super macho.